Howdy y'all, we're still going. This is up to part 11, I believe. No, part 12. We're just going to get back on looking at our old Georgian house here. And I realised I should have mentioned this just to help if you want one. To add a light, just press Shift A, and then you've got in this menu, light. And it will always arrive where your 3D cursor is, which apparently is here. So if I just move that on the Y-axis, there's the light. And then you can access the controls here under data properties, how much wattage, the radius, things like this. And then yeah, if you wanted to add another light like I did in the last one. Okay, so very quickly, why this wasn't doing what I wanted it to do is because I need to stretch the UVs. I'll show you what happens when I do that and what I mean by that. But first we need to Shift A and add another under input texture coordinate, because as I say, this is where we get all of our mapping from. So for this one, if I take from the UV straight into the vector, and then in here again in my UV window, if I tab, press A, that's what it looks like currently. So I'm going to U, and then I'm going to go back to cube projection, and I think if I stretch on the X-axis, yeah. So as you see, if I just turn off, if you want to remove this orange outline of everything and you just want to see the stuff, just click this button. The shortcut is Shift Alt Z, and it will just make everything clean. So just so you can see what's happening, if I stretch these UVs on the X-axis, so I'm pressing SX in the UV editor, you can see the UVs are stretching. They're doing a similar thing to this, although that, because I see what I've done there. Let me explain what's happened. So these two things, objects, this object, this object, this object. Let me put my thing back on. This object, this one, and this one, all have the same UV setup because they're duplicates. But this one, because I needed to change the UV, I needed to change the material. So now this material, it's the same material, so this one is also now using UV coordinates. So that's why they no longer look the same. So what I needed to have done was, before I changed this, I needed to have pressed this button here, which tells it I want the material specific to this object. I don't want what I change here to affect that. So it needs to be its own material. So if you, for now, to fix this, if I tell you what, actually, we'll make this one, so select the vertical beams and then click that to make them a new material. And then go back to this one and just delete the texture coordinate. Select it, press X, and now it'll go back because it's obviously using generated coordinates. So now at least they match better. You know, they've got a bit of stretchy beamness about them. I'm gonna quickly tell you about this. This here is the world properties. So if you've got a HDRI, which would be an environment for the background, it would be edited through here. But this at the moment is just a flat color grey. So if I make this color by selecting this window, this is the world color, and bring it not white but close. And then the strength, if I put that at 1, the whole world is now this color, and it's giving off light everywhere using that color. We'll get into the HDRIs later, but what's that? 4 minutes, sweet, loads of time. So there we go. That's yeah, we don't need that light. Okay, but so now let's just put something on the roof. We just need a quick texture. Before, if we tab into it, press A and then U, and we're going to cube project. That'll do, I'm sure. And then what we're going to do is, if you select that one, then shift select the bricks, because we want to copy this material onto here and then edit it differently. And then again under object, and then link transfer data, we want link materials. So now we've got this on the roof. So what we can do is now edit this one separate to this. So again, if we press this button here to make it its own material, now we can edit this without affecting this one. So first thing I would like to do is bring the scale down. So lower numbers mean bigger bricks. So we'll go 5. And I want them to be square. So at the moment, the brick width and row height are different. But if I just bump that up to pump 5 as well, so they're the same, we then have squares. What we want to do now is rotate these because they're facing the wrong way. We can do it a number of ways, but a pretty quick way is just using the UVs. So if you tab into edit mode, and then we want to make sure we've got face selected, I'm going to go back into edit and just select these. In fact, we can this is where material preview mode is pretty useful actually when they load up. It's just got to load up the shaders and eventually we'll see them. So yeah, if we select all these faces, if this is selected, then we'll see them all here. All we need to do is press R, and then if you hold Control, like I said, it's incremental to that. You can just type R90, but you can do it that way. And now they're the right way, but the scale is way too big. So I'm just going to bring the scale up to 10. That's probably about right. And let's just change the colours so they're not too similar to the bricks underneath. Just going to lower. I don't even know if they had. Yeah, they did. What we are on 6. So what looks slightly unnatural is this bit at the front. It looks a bit strange. So what we can do about that is another little trick here. Is if we've already selected these faces. So if we press Shift D, press Enter, and then P. So we're going to duplicate that selection and then separate it. If we make sure we've got this, in fact, once you've selected that, press that backspace key to solo it and just delete the front and the back face. X, goodbye. And we don't need those X faces. So we've just got that shape. I'm going to press the backspace key again. Oh wait, I screwed that up. What? Hang on. Right, hang on, I've messed up there somewhere. Oh, I selected the wrong thing. You didn't need to do any of that. Forget that. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. This is the one I wanted to solo. So if I solo this, there we go. So what I can do with this is in your modifiers panel with the wrench, drop down menu, you want solidify. And what this will do is it will add another layer of geometry. And under the thickness, if you click and then shift and hold, you'll see it's getting thicker. So now if we go back out of solo with the backspace key, we now have a fairly cool looking roof. I think I want it to come further out, so I'm just going to scale it all on the Y by SY. Not that far, maybe there. And I think I'm going to move it up slightly to avoid this polygon clash. So GZ, and I'm going to hold shift until those marks disappear. Bush. And there we go. We now have a much better looking roof. We're probably going to have to look at the edges, but we're nearly there. We're nearly there, and then yeah, we'll sort the door out, job done. And then maybe the next series will be a bit more advanced. Alright, sweet. I think we can get it all done in the next episode. I will see you then. Farewell.